Let's restart. So, what's your opinion on Black Lives Matter?
Well, biblically, the only human race is the white race. Adamic man was the only race created by Yahweh to be human. The Africans, they're beasts of the field, just like cows or ox or goats or any other livestock. Now, at some point, somebody decided to break Yahweh's law against miscegenation and integration and taught them how to wear people clothes and pretend how to be people. So now we have a group of people that are acting like animals, and we don't know why.
So, would you mind telling the people about who you are and about what you believe in and stuff?
Oh, well, I'm just another guy. My name's Chris Lampkin. I'm a political activist. I'm Christian identity. And basically, all I strive for is the preservation of the white race. Anything beyond that is just not my concern. So, when you say Black Lives Matter, well, to a degree they do. But white lives matter. And that's my concern. I don't deny another race their right to seek a cultural identity. But at the same time, I just, as a white man, want the right to seek my own cultural identity without being considered some kind of racist or hate monger or whatever the current term is for that.
Yeah. What are your opinions on all these Trump riots still going on?
All these what?
Trump riots. Anti-Trump rallies.
Oh, well, it's normal for whatever considers themselves the counterculture to protest a regime change in any way. The reason America is so unstable is, first of all, due to balkanization. There's no real cultural identity in America. The term melting pot was coined by a Jewish playwright in 1919. And it's definitely come to perfectly describe what most of modern society looks like. You have your neighbors, like it looks like you live in a normal suburban neighborhood. You can look out the door, and on one side you got, a Mexican couple, and on the other side you have an interracial couple, and across the street you probably have little black kids playing in the yard, or whatever the case may be. There's no cultural homeland for anybody. So that's led to no sense of ownership in society today, especially here in America. And people don't respect the country the way they did 50 years ago.
Yes. So would you like to say anything about any topics or anything to ask me?
Well, right now, what my particular little group of friends that I work with here in Idaho are active with is a campaign to find legal aid for Gary Yarborough.
Would you mind telling some of the folks who Gary Yarborough is?
Well enough, yes. Gary Yarborough was a member of the Order. He and some other gentlemen back in the 80s decided that they were going to protest the government, and part of how they were going to do it would be by robbing banks, because banks collect their money unlawfully, and that's unlawfully by biblical law, not unlawfully by any kind of man's law. So, him and some of the other gentlemen got caught, and he was up for parole. This was 1984, so before I was born, he was in prison. He was up for parole, and without due cause or due process, they denied his hearing. They've been denying him his rights. He's been in Adamax for 40 some odd years. And so we're fighting for due process for Gary Yarborough, and looking for some kind of lawyer that'll take the case pro bono, just because it's the right thing to do, which is rare to find because most lawyers aren't concerned with the right thing to do.
Yeah. I'm still trying to think some more stuff to talk about. What do you think of all this interracial marriage you see happening around here? I think it's unbiblical because in Leviticus 19:19
Well,
it talks about
it
that.
is biblically wrong. Yahweh gave the races to man. God gave man the races and created them as they are and put them on their places in the earth for whatever purpose they are. For us as white men to amalgamate our blood or adulterate, to commit adultery with a non-white is an abomination to Yahweh. And the children are the reason why it's an abomination. Because we were all created with our own specific identities. And to quote David Lane, if you mix a plow horse and a race horse, you're not going to get a better plow horse or a better race horse. You're going to get something worse and not useful.
What do you think of the Zionist-occupied government, ZOG?
Well, now, as far as the term Zionist-occupied government, ZOG, I don't really use that because most governments are occupied by those who lend them money. The Bible says the borrower is slave to the lender. So, every government owes the same bank money. And this is where we get the 13 families that control the world, the Rothschilds, and all of that, is simply a Bible law that was violated by earthly rulers and brought them into subjugation under a foreign force.
Actually, there are 12 families now because David Rockefeller and his son dropped dead somehow.
There's still a Rockefeller representative.
There is?
There always will be. Even Trump's daughter, that individual that's married to her daughter, or to his daughter, is related to the Rockefellers.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Well, it's not something he publicized while he was trying to pander to the white power vote.
Yeah. So, what is your opinion on George Soros, Henry Kissinger, and all those people?
Well, they're the serpent's seed. They're literal descendants of the devil. Eve committed adultery in Genesis 3:15 and conceived a child with the serpent. The child's name was Cain, and that child beget the entire Jewish race upon this earth. So we've allowed these literal children of the devil, or if you prefer, you can look at their deeds and judge them by their deeds and see that they're spiritual children of the devil as well. We've allowed them to dominate our culture, to take control of our banks, to promote race mixing, miscegenation, and multicultural and cultural Marxism. And now, we're on the verge of a communist revolution in the United States because somebody decided to allow a foreign force to take dominance over us by their own unlawful actions. So, while definitely they're a threat to freedom and to modern society, I'd say the fault is our own for violating God's law.
Okay, would you mind telling the people, because some of these people are Christians, but they are regular old Christians brainwashed by society saying we have to stand with Israel. Would you like to tell them why we don't have to stand with Israel and why we shouldn't?
Repeat the last part of the question.
Why should we stand with Israel, and why should we even look at them?
Why should we follow the law?
Yeah.
Well, right in the law, it says the person who studies this and teaches it to his children and practices it in his life will be blessed. Now, I want need all the blessings that I can get. Also, Christ said he came not to do away with the law, but to bring it to fulfillment. And that not one jot or tittle, now a jot is a dot above the I, and a tittle is a cross across the T. Not one jot or tittle will be removed from the law until the end of the age, until he returns to this earth to cleanse the earth of the non-Christians.
Okay, what do you think about the people getting microchipped in their fingers and stuff? It says in the Bible that will be the end, and it's already happening right now.
Well, I don't necessarily believe a microchip is the mark of the beast. I think it's going to be something a lot less obvious and more insidious than that. But it's definitely not something that Yahweh would want us to put in our body. I mean, I don't even eat pork skins, so I wouldn't do it myself.
Okay. So, wait, you don't eat pork?
No, no pork at all.
Huh.
No pork, no shellfish, no shrimp.
Huh. Well, I didn't think too much about what we're gonna talk about before I video called you, but you got anything else you'd like to talk about or ask me?
No. It's been great to be on the show. Anytime you want to give me a ring, always feel free. It's always good to talk to you.
Okay.
And if you come up with a topic that you think I might have some insight on, or just want to get my opinion on, feel free to give me a ring. Just give me a little advance notice.